4 people said, "It's not my fault." The court didn't agree. Alright y'all, buckle up because this one is messy from the jump. What we've got here is a courtroom showdown over a party brownie that went very wrong. A casual night out turns into a DUI, legal fees, and 2 strangers going head-to-head in front of a judge. One woman says she was blindsided and drugged without warning. The other says, hey, everybody knew what was on the table. So now the big question is, who's really responsible when a good time turns into a legal nightmare? Was this an honest mistake, or pure negligence? This case has awkward vibes, sharp accusations, and some serious attitude. And trust me, it goes from polite to personal real quick. Let's get into it.
$1,209, and let me not leave out 99 cents. What are we in court today for?
Yes, Your Honor, I am suing today for the total cost of legal fees I incurred after leaving a party that Vanessa threw. I accidentally ingested a brownie that was full of cannabis. I didn't know it was full of cannabis, and upon leaving the party, I received a DUI. So this is the total costs in which I'm suing.
Okay, wow, we are 10 seconds in and this is already wild. She's saying she went to a party, ate a brownie, had no clue it was laced, and next thing she knows she's getting slapped with a DUI. That is a nightmare scenario. And look at how calm she sounds telling it, like she still can't believe this even happened. You can tell she feels embarrassed, confused, and honestly kind of betrayed. From her point of view, she just grabbed a snack and her whole life flipped upside down. But on the other side, the defendant is sitting there like, hold on now, that's not how it went. So right away we've got 2 totally different stories. Is this really an innocent victim, or is something not adding
up? They were talking in like the living room area. I went into the dining area, got myself a brownie. I have a sweet tooth, so that's what I wanted. I had no idea that it had cannabis in it. There was no signs indicating that there were any drugs in the food.
Right.
So upon leaving the party, I was feeling a little weird, but I thought that was just because it was awkward and uncomfortable for me. And
so you did not have a good time at this party?
I did not have a good time at this party, not at all.
Now, how many glasses of wine did you have, ma'am?
Not even one.
Not even one. It was the cannabis that was giving you the adverse feelings.
Absolutely.
So describe to me how you felt when you were leaving.
I mostly felt awkward.
Now this part is important. She's explaining she barely even knew these people. She wasn't at her best friend's house, she was basically a +1 at a stranger's party. That changes everything. She says she felt awkward, out of place, grabbed a brownie just to have something to do, and boom, unknowingly eats cannabis. And listen to how she describes getting pulled over, tired, woozy, confused. That's not someone trying to get away with something. That's someone genuinely shocked at what's happening. Imagine getting arrested and not even knowing why you feel messed up. That's scary. But legally, is that enough to put the blame on the host?
Yeah, so you have had to take a DUI class, which is often the case. You had to have your license reissued, the tow fee for your car, because of course an officer is not going to let you get back in front of the wheel after you are clearly intoxicated. And of course the ticket itself, totaling $1,209.99.
I'm also a teacher, so there's an added level of not wanting to be in that kind of trouble.
Yeah, it's not just the driving aspect. It's all of the tangential civic things. You're very fortunate that you're not going through, I don't know, a child custody dispute right now, because that would be used against you in your custody hearing. You better believe it.
Here's where the judge starts realizing how serious this got. This wasn't just an awkward night. She had to pay real money, take classes, get her license fixed, the whole 9 yards. And when she says she's a teacher, that hits different. A DUI on your record can wreck careers, reputations, futures. The judge even points out how bad this could have been in a custody case. You can feel the courtroom tone shift right here from "oops, accident" to "this actually ruined part of her life." The stakes just went way up. But now we gotta hear from the party host. And something tells me she's got a very different version of events.
I want to hear from you, Ms. Tyson. So this was you throwing a party for casual friends at your home?
Yes, Your Honor. I throw parties every Friday night. It's a known thing with all my friends. My friend Rachel was in town. We are friends from high school, and I was catching up with her after years of not seeing her, and she brought Steph along with her. I am not familiar with Steph. I don't really know her very well, but I put these brownies out every Friday. Everyone knows that they're laced with THC. There is a sign next to the pan, and everything on the table is set out in a way that there's alcohol, brownies that are laced, and then there's snacks that don't have any kind of alcohol.
Now the defendant steps in and she is confident. She's basically saying, hold up, this is a regular thing at my house. Everybody knows the brownies are laced. She's painting a picture like this is common knowledge, like there were signs, warnings, the whole setup. In her mind, the plaintiff just didn't pay attention. But here's the problem, the person suing wasn't a regular guest. She was brand new. And you can already see where this is heading. The host is treating this like an inside club situation, but the plaintiff was an outsider. That's a huge disconnect. So the big question becomes, was there really proper
this
warning?
in it because she told me then. So after the fact, after all these things, I was told. Not
So you
during a
didn't
party.
even know, as you were being arrested, why you were intoxicated.
Yes.
Wow, that's wild, Ms. Tyson. Let me ask you, do you have any evidence for the court?
Yes, Your Honor. I
Okay,
do.
please give that to my bailiff, all of it in its entirety. It would be really great if you had a photo of these brownies with this alleged sign warning people of the THC consumption. Is that going to be in this folder, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, well, I was just shooting out, just putting it out there. Okay, let's see. I do see a sign. It says weed brownies laced with THC, and you're purporting that this was in front of the brownies.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now I really was hoping that it was going to be a photo of the pan of brownies with the sign in front of it, so I could be totally clear that this notice was giving its intended impact. But I do see a sign, and you're purporting that this was the actual sign.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so your contention.
This is where the case gets interesting. The defendant claims she had a sign right next to the brownies saying they had THC. Sounds good on paper, right? But the judge wants proof. Not just a random sign, but actual evidence it was clearly visible at the party. And the photo she provides, honestly, it's weak. It's just a picture of a sign, not even with the brownies. That's not the slam dunk she thinks it is. Meanwhile, the plaintiff is saying she never saw anything. So now it's a classic he said she said situation. And in court, I usually warn people, is not the same as, I definitely warned this person.
Perhaps.
So you're telling me this is the first time in your life that you have seen this sign?
This is the first time I've ever seen that sign in my entire life, yes.
What do you say to that, Ms. Tyson?
I say that's untrue.
So you think she's lying?
I think she's illiterate.
Ooh. Well, Ms. Foley, that is quite a searing accusation.
I certainly can read. I don't think I would be able to text and send you those messages if I didn't know how to read and was illiterate. I don't think I'd be.
And this right here is the moment everything goes sideways. The defendant really sat there in a courtroom and called the plaintiff illiterate. That is a bold, reckless, straight-up disrespectful move. You can feel the tension spike instantly. Instead of sticking to facts, she made it personal. And the plaintiff fires right back like, I'm a teacher with a degree. That comment probably hurt her case more than helped it. Judges do not like attitude like that. What was supposed to be a legal argument just turned into an emotional clash. And you can already tell the judge isn't impressed. Was that confidence or self-sabotage?
But the issue is, not everybody knows. Ms. Tyson, it is not reasonable to expect a first-time guest in your home, ma'am, to know the customs and patterns that you employ in your social setting. That's not reasonable. It is your responsibility to make sure that that is emphatically imparted. And while I can appreciate this little homemade sign of yours, it is not compelling enough for me to believe that this woman is lying about seeing it. You put her in a situation, ma'am, where she had unwilling consumption of a product that ultimately could have cost her her life. Let's be clear.
And there it is, folks. The judge made it crystal clear, when you host a party, you are responsible for making sure guests are safe and properly informed. A tiny homemade sign and "everybody knows" just wasn't good enough. The court believed the plaintiff and ruled she shouldn't have to pay the price for something she never agreed to consume. This case really shows how one careless moment can spiral into a legal disaster. Accountability matters. Communication matters. And assumptions? Those can cost you big time.
We're here today talking about a DUI. People die from DUIs every day. I certainly cannot ask this woman to bear the cost of what was an involuntary consumption of cannabis at your house, on your property, at your consent by herself. Thus, the court will rule in favor of the plaintiff for the cost incurred for involuntarily consuming a cannabis brownie at the defendant's home. Rule in favor for the plaintiff, $1,209.99. That is my judgment.
All right, y'all, buckle up, because this case is about to get messy. We've got a son dragging his own parents into court, accusing them of squatting in his house. Yeah, you heard that right, mom and dad turned into unwanted roommates. What starts as a simple property dispute quickly turns into a deep family drama full of old wounds, emotional baggage, and years of resentment boiling over in front of a judge. On one side, a young man saying his childhood was cold and loveless. On the other, parents claiming they did their best. This ain't just about rent money, this is about hurt feelings, broken trust, and a family that never healed. And trust me, things go from awkward to uncomfortable to straight up brutal real quick.
You said some pretty strong words there, Mr. Harris. You said that these are your parents, they are responsible for you being in the world, and yet you said that they weren't loving towards you.
Well, see, unfortunately, as a kid, my parents I would not call were loving parents. No love was lost here all these years because in the beginning there wasn't much love given. As a kid, I was not really celebrated for my birthdays. I wasn't really bought much as a kid other than just having a roof over my head, having food, everything on the table, which is something I'm grateful for.
Well, yeah, those are the necessities.
Right.
Were you told I love you? Were you hugged? Were you adored?
That wasn't really something I got. No, I would always see my friends getting that, which really bothered me as a kid, and I wouldn't really get those things, no.
And so you got those affections from your grandfather?
Yes.
Here we go, the emotional bombs already dropping. The son straight up says his parents were never loving, never affectionate, never supportive. You can feel the tension in the room rising fast. Judge is trying to keep it professional, but even she knows this is more than a legal issue, this is childhood trauma on full display. And look at the parents' faces, they're already on defense mode. He's painting them like cold, distant strangers instead of mom and dad. That kind of accusation hits hard, especially in a courtroom. You can tell this family hasn't talked honestly in years. This ain't just a lawsuit, this is decades of pain finally getting a microphone. Are we watching a court case, or a family therapy session gone wrong?
Your Honor, we were very young when we got pregnant with Aaron.
What's very young?
18, 19. We were young. We were just out of school. We had just fallen in love. We were just getting married.
Okay.
We got pregnant. We decided to have Aaron and do the right thing.
Yes.
I feel like I did what I was supposed to do for the 18 years for my son.
Yes,
We
we both
supported
did,
him.
yes.
We kept the roof over his head.
The bare minimum.
Okay, so he acknowledged that you did provide life necessities, food, shelter.
Yes.
But what about the nurturing aspect? And I'll start with you, Mr. Harris, because I don't want to show gender favoritism here. As his father, you also are responsible for the nurturing aspect of parenting, right?
You know, I thought I did the best I could. I own an electronics shop, and we were running this for 20 years, and that took most of my attention and energy.
Now the parents jump in with the classic line, "We were young, we did our best." And honestly, that's what a lot of parents say when they get called out. They admit they provided the basics, food, shelter, roof over his head. But love? Affection? Emotional support? That part gets real quiet real fast. The judge ain't letting them slide either. She asks the tough questions, "Did you tell him you loved him?" And suddenly it's all, "I believe I did." Nah, that's not confidence, that's hesitation. You can feel the regret mixed with denial. The son looks hurt, the parents look defensive, and the judge looks like she's already seen this movie before. Is this bad
I wasn't even
parenting, or
planned.
just bad excuses?
Wait a minute, defendants. Explain.
Well, when I was a kid, I had heard multiple times in different, emotional outbursts that I wasn't even planned. I was an accident. We weren't supposed to have you. So.
Okay, I want you to pause right there, Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris and Ms. Sanders, tell me that's not true.
We believed that we were taking care of him.
Did your son get an indication from you two that his being here was a mistake?
We were honest with him growing up.
That's a yes. So that's a yes.
Well, we told him from the beginning that...
Mr. Harris, that's yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's a yes. Okay. I'm very triggered, to be candid with you. I grew up with a single, impoverished young mother myself, but she did me the good favor of...
Okay, this right here is a heartbreaking moment. The son reveals he was told he was an accident. And you can see the judge get instantly triggered. That's not just a legal fact, that's emotional damage. Being told your existence was a mistake sticks with you for life. The parents admit they were honest with him, but there's a difference between honesty and emotional cruelty. Judge ain't playing, she calls them out immediately. You can tell she relates to this on a personal level, and now the energy in the courtroom shifts completely. This isn't just about a house anymore. This is about a man who grew up feeling unwanted. And that kind of pain doesn't just disappear. Is this lawsuit about money, or about finally being heard?
Mr. Aaron Harris, that you were at work, you come home in this secondary bedroom, which you use as rental income. I'm seeing some of this evidence here. I'm seeing a day rate of $80, this, that, and the third, subtotal. So I see. So you're earning about $2,619 a month on this bedroom.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's very good income, sir. And I'm sure you use this to support your life.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're losing out on this because you two decide that it's cute to come back to your former, the house that used to belong to your father. This was your father's house, Mr. Harris?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're still talking about a childhood bedroom. Sir, how old are you today?
I'm 45, Your Honor.
Okay, so you're very much a grown man, right?
Correct.
Okay, so then a childhood...
Now we're getting into the actual squatting drama. Son comes home from work and bam, surprise. His parents are living in his rental room like it's a free hotel. And he's losing over $2,000 a month because of it. From his perspective, this is straight up financial sabotage. From the parents' perspective, they thought they were welcome. But here's the problem, welcome by who? Grandpa sold the house. Promises don't transfer like furniture. Judge makes that crystal clear. Parents acting like it's still their family home, son acting like it's strictly business. Two completely different realities crashing into each other. Was this innocent misunderstanding
anybody showed
or
up.
entitled
And then
behavior?
when someone did show up, it was your son.
Yes, it was our son. And when he showed up, we were actually astonished
we were
and excited.
authentically
I'm
sorry, Your Honor,
joyous to
that's
see
not
him.
accurate.
Okay, hold on, y'all. Once y'all got past your shock and awe, I'll let you give your side in a second. Go ahead. Then what happened?
He came in, he seemed very upset to see us. Our joy was authentic, mine was authentic to see him. And he informed us that we couldn't be there. He owned the home. This was all news to
you.
us.
Okay, so once he tells you that he owns the home and he doesn't want y'all there, what do you do?
We wanted to rebuild our family.
It
We
was
wanted to
unimaginable.
repair whatever issues had become between us.
Okay.
And we didn't have anywhere to go. He immediately called the cops on us.
Immediately.
Okay, let's pause. Is that true, Mr. Harris? You called the police?
I did call the police.
Okay, that's
This part is wild. Parents admit they let themselves in with a hidden key and stayed for months without permission. Then they act shocked when the son calls the cops. Like, what did y'all expect? A welcome back party? The mom says she was excited to see him. Meanwhile, he's walking in thinking his house got broken into. Talk about two opposite emotions in the same room. Judge is trying to be fair, but you can tell she's side-eyeing the whole situation. Just because your family doesn't mean you can set up camp wherever you want. The son wasn't trying to reconnect, he was trying to protect his property. Is this a
The
reunion
reality is
story
there is no
or a
fiscal,
trespassing story?
responsibility that anybody in America can hardly take care of these days with $100. So stop that. I got to ask you a question, Mr. Harris. You talked about wanting to repair the relationship with your son, and that's admirable.
Yeah.
But the court has to wonder, was that the real motive for you staying in this property, or was this about the fact that you didn't have anywhere else to go?
Your Honor, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say it's both.
Please. Okay, well, I appreciate the honesty.
Because it was coming back home. It was coming
Yes.
back to where we thought we would have some support.
We were welcome.
We thought we were welcome.
Have you had any contact with your father, sir?
I have attempted to contact him. He has not responded to
No.
us, and again, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now the truth finally comes out. Judge asks the real question, did you stay there to rebuild the family, or because you had nowhere else to go? And the dad admits it was both. That honesty might be too little too late. They offered $100 a month like that was supposed to fix everything. Judge shuts that down quick. $100 in today's economy is basically lunch money. You can tell she understands their struggle, but she also sees the manipulation. Staying in someone's house against their will isn't family bonding, it's taking advantage. This whole situation feels less like reconciliation and more like survival mode. Was this about love or convenience?
Indefinitely on this property was lawful. Now, I do recognize that once you enter a property, you do start having some rights, and the law enforcement on this was correct. You must go through a proper eviction process. That took time, and you did so.
Yes.
As a result, I'm going to, because the court sided with you, had y'all not been evicted, he would be getting dismissed today. But because another housing court heard all the evidence.
And there it is, the final ruling. Judge splits the difference, awards the son $5,000, and makes one thing clear, just because your family doesn't mean you get a free pass. This case wasn't just about rent money, it was about boundaries, respect, and years of unresolved pain finally colliding in court. The parents learned a hard lesson, and the son learned that protecting your peace is sometimes more important than keeping family close. At the end of the day, this wasn't just a legal battle, it was a reality check for everyone involved. If this case had you hooked like I was, drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more wild courtroom drama every week.
All the evidence, and they said that you were not lawful in your occupancy, you were indeed ripe for eviction. I'm going to split the difference here in court today. Mr. Harris, you are going to get your attorney fees back because that validates the veracity of your original legal claim that they were squatters. However, you've not proven to the court that you would have reasonably been able to rent out that room the entire time of their occupancy, so we're going to split that part in half. I'm going to give you half of that. You'll get a total in favor of the plaintiff for $5,000. That is my ruling.
All right, y'all. Buckle up because this one right here is a straight family drama roller coaster. What we've got today is a son suing his own mother over a car. Yeah, you heard that right. A mother who helped him get on his feet, trusted him, supported him, and now they're standing on opposite sides of the courtroom. At first it sounds simple, young guy trying to better his life, working hard, going to school. But real quick this case flips from wholesome to chaotic. One bad decision, one reckless night, and boom, trust shattered, car gone, and now we got a lawsuit. This ain't just about money, this is about responsibility, respect, and whether a second chance should even be given. You're about to watch a judge try to balance love, discipline, and straight-up consequences.
Okay, and you're still working?
Let's get into it.
Okay, continue.
So once I got the car, I continued to do everything that I needed to do. One night I went to my friend's birthday party and I didn't really sleep well or anything, and it was a late night already for work. I went to the birthday party, I was on the way home. I was a lot more tired than I thought I was. I got pulled over and got booked for a DUI.
Oh no, okay, I understand. So you said you wait tables for a living?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're leaving the restaurant. At what point did you have alcohol, sir? At the party?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you drank at the party, you got behind the wheel, you know you should not have ever done that. You
Yes,
know
Your
that.
Honor.
Okay, so you're pulled over, you're arrested for DUI. Is this your first DUI?
Man, this story started out sounding all nice and motivational, right? Hardworking student, saving money, trying to upgrade his life. But the second he said DUI, the whole energy in the room changed. You can almost feel the judge go from supportive to serious real quick. This ain't just, oops I made a mistake, territory, this is dangerous behavior. Driving tired, drinking, getting behind the wheel, that's how lives get ruined. And now mama had to get that late-night jail call no parent ever wants. You can tell already this case ain't just about a car, it's about broken trust. Question is he really
Mom,
sorry,
can you please
or
put on my
just
car
sorry
and
he
can you
got
please
caught?
Get me out of jail.
The phone call every mother can't wait to receive. Okay,
Really?
yeah, go ahead.
Really?
Unfortunately. So yeah, it was a terrible ride home, and by the
So
time
she did come and get you?
Yes, ma'am.
Did she get the car out of impounding?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then, yes, you get scolded as you should have been on the ride home.
Most
Yes, ma'am.
Definitely.
And then she takes the keys.
Okay, and you haven't seen the car since?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I've heard enough from you, young man. Ms.
Oh if here we go. The classic, mom, come get me out of jail, phone call. Every parent's nightmare wrapped in one sentence. She had to leave her house, bail her grown son out, pay impound fees, and clean up his mess. And what does she do after all that? Takes the keys. Honestly, can you blame her? From her point of view, she didn't just help buy a car, she invested in his future. And he turned around and gambled it all in one reckless night. You can hear the disappointment in her voice without her even raising it.
When you took the keys.
That kind of hurt hits
until he
different.
can prove to me that he's going to be responsible and pay my money back to me.
Oh, so now you, the $1,000?
The $1,000 plus the $680 that I had to pay to get the car out of impound. When he pays that back, then we can sit down and have a conversation again. But he broke our agreement when he got the DUI, Your Honor.
What'd you say about that, young man?
She's 100% correct. I did. But I am completely aware of my mistakes, and I was given and sent.
Now this is where it gets interesting. Mom switches from loving parent mode to strict businesswoman mode real fast. She's basically saying, you wanna be grown? Cool, pay me back. The $1,000 and the impound fee. That ain't petty, that's accountability. And honestly, she's got a point. He broke the agreement, plain and simple. In her mind, trust came with conditions, and he violated every single one of them. The judge is listening close too, because this ain't just emotion, this is logic. But is holding the car hostage helping him learn,
So do you see
or
what
just
your
making
mother's
things
saying,
worse?
sir? She's saying this. She's saying that you broke her trust. You came to her and you made her a good faith proposition. And what your mother is saying is the minute you got behind the wheel of that car with the intoxicated state that you were in, you broke that trust.
That's right.
And so now she's trying to see how she can reestablish that trust when you're no longer under her house.
That's
So
correct.
answer that for the court.
In my opinion, I honestly just think it's just the trusting, as she trusted.
This part right here is deep. The mother admits she doesn't even know what he's doing day to day anymore. That's a tough place for a parent to be. She wants to believe he's changed, but she's scared to trust him again. And the judge breaks it down perfectly, trust ain't automatic, it's earned. He keeps saying, I've been doing better, but from her side it still feels like empty words. Living with friends, out on his own, she can't see his progress. And without proof, all she has left is the memory of that DUI night.
Showing you every single
That's a
day that I'm
hard
still in
wall to
school,
Did she
how I'm
say, let me ask you
raised.
that, Mom, did you
Yes.
see where he completed the community service?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay,
think
you believe that?
I do.
Okay, and you believe he's still doing what he needs to do in school? Because that's very important.
Yes, it is very important, and yes, I do believe he's still in school taking his
And
class.
is he working?
Yes, I understand he's gotten his job.
Okay, so let's get to the money, right? You understand, young man, that your mother is asking to be reimbursed for two things that you have cost her.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
first is the $1,000 towards the vehicle, and the other is the $680 towards the impoundment fee that was the result of your drinking
Yes.
behind the wheel. Do you
Alright, now we're getting to the money talk, the real issue behind all this emotion. The judge gets straight to it, you cost your mother $1,680 because of your choices. No excuses, no sugarcoating. And to his credit, the son admits he can pay it back. That's a big moment. But then the million-dollar question drops, if he pays, does he get the car back? And Mama hesitates. That hesitation says everything. This ain't about cash no more, it's about fear. Fear he'll mess up again. Fear something worse could happen next time. And honestly,
listen, I gotta
that's
tell
a
you,
real
I'm
concern.
inclined to want to rule in your favor, but your mother is making a convincing argument. You know, I have to say, listen, I don't want to be responsible, sir. If you get behind another wheel and you're drunk again, then someone's not going to get hurt. Address that for the court.
I have to show her. And the only way that I can show her is if I have the car.
Oh. See, Elijah, isn't that so interesting? That's one of those catch-22s, right? I can't do what you're asking me to do unless you do what I want you to do.
Right.
Do you see the problem with that, Mr. Scott? So at this point, I think I've heard enough from the two of you. Your mother said what I think we're all thinking, young man, is that we care about you.
That, I need the car to prove I'm responsible, line. Yeah, the judge was not buying that. That's a classic catch-22 excuse. Responsibility doesn't start with car keys, it starts with behavior. The judge basically tells him, your word don't mean much right now. And that's tough to hear, but it's true. One DUI erased years of trust. The courtroom energy shifts heavy right here, because now it's not about sympathy, it's about safety. The judge ain't trying to gamble with anybody's life just to make this young man feel better.
Weapon known as a
Hard
motor
truth
vehicle
moment for
could
sure.
cost you your life.
Yes.
It could cost an innocent person their life. That is a risk that is too high for me to take on the basis of your word, which you've already broken one time to the woman that birthed you.
That's right.
So here's what I'm going to do, Mr. Scott. I'm going to dismiss your first claim of $3,500 in its entirety. Let me tell you why. Because I am not going to sit here and rest on just your word, which is not worth a lot today. But this is what I will do. I'm going to give you 6 months. You can bring your claim back to my courtroom. And if in 6 months you say, Your Honor, I'm still working. Your Honor, these are my great...
Phew, what a case. No yelling, no screaming, just pure real-life consequences. The judge didn't slam him, but she didn't baby him either. Claim dismissed, mom gets her impound money back, and the son gets 6 months to prove he's actually changed. That's tough love in legal form right there. This whole case exposed one big lesson: trust is fragile, and responsibility is earned, not demanded. One bad decision can cost way more than money. Hopefully this young man really turns it around and repairs things with his mother.
And as to your claim, Ms. Scott,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to grant it impartial. I'm not going to give you the $1,000 back that you spent on the car because I'm going to hold out some hope that you two can resolve that amicably as mother and son.
I understand.
But I am going to grant your counterclaim in the amount of $680 because you should have never had to spend $1 of your hard-earned money to get your son's car out of impound due to drunk driving. I rule in favor of the counterclaim for $680 and I dismiss the plaintiff's claim outright. That's my ruling.
Woman who thought she found love, and a younger man who might have been enjoying the lifestyle a little too much. What starts as a sweet romantic getaway plan turns into betrayal, embarrassment, and a courtroom showdown over money and pride. One side says it was a loving relationship, the other says it was straight-up financial finesse. A dream trip to Prague becomes a nightmare real quick. We're talking cheating at a party, canceled flights, airline credits, and a man refusing to give back what he never paid for. This one goes from cute couple vibes to see you in court energy fast. No spoilers, but trust me, feelings get hurt, truths get exposed, and the judge does not hold
What
back.
happened was we
Let's
went
get into
to a mutual party, friends party, and I was really embarrassed. I was looking all over for Kevin, and I found him in the pool room, huddled up with another woman, kissing her. And it was another older woman.
On the mouth?
Yes. And because of the way he was positioned, he didn't even see me walk in the room. So I just turned around, walked out, got in my car, and I left him there with her. And let him get home the best way that he could.
Now, y'all were not living.
Oh, here we go. This is where the fairy tale turns into a straight drama movie. She's at a party thinking everything is good, looking for her man, and boom, finds him kissing another woman. Not texting, not talking, full-on lip locked. And the way she describes it, she was humiliated. You can hear the hurt in her voice. She didn't scream, didn't fight, didn't cause a scene, she just walked out like a boss and left him there. That's heartbreak mixed with dignity right there. And the wild part? He didn't even notice she left. That tells you everything about his mindset that night. Now the whole relationship is in question. Was it love, or convenience? Because right now, it's looking real shaky. Is this a mistake, or a man showing his true colors?
Then, Mr. Aaron, were you indeed lip-locked with another lady?
I made a mistake, 100%.
And that was the first time you had made that mistake, right?
Yes, it was. We had been having intimacy issues.
Oh, no.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Aaron, let me hear your side.
The age gap, I do believe, played a factor in that, and I didn't do a good enough job vocalizing that, and I let maybe...
So I want to get clear, just so the court knows what we're talking about, Mr. Aaron. You didn't feel sexually satisfied, so you looked to sow your oats elsewhere at this party.
I didn't look to sow my oats elsewhere. I had a few drinks in me at the time.
Now we blame it on...
Now it's his turn to talk, and listen to how this man starts explaining himself. I made a mistake. Yeah, sir, we know that part. Then he blames intimacy issues, blames the age gap, and of course, the classic excuse, blames the alcohol. That's the courtroom trifecta right there. He says he wasn't thinking clearly, had a few drinks, and suddenly ended up kissing another woman. Funny how alcohol always gets blamed when somebody gets caught. The judge is not letting him slide either. She's cutting right through the fluff. You can tell she's heard this story 1,000 times before. My guy is talking, but he's not really helping his case. Is this accountability, or just damage control?
The situation, and I just decided that it was best that we go our separate ways.
So you broke up with him?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And he was trying to convince me to stay in the relationship because it was just a mistake. At this point, I felt like, because I know the woman that he was huddled up with, I felt that he was in a relationship with me for financial benefits, and I did not want to go through with that anymore, and I just decided that I just didn't want to.
You were done being the ATM.
So I decided to cancel the trip.
Okay.
And when I spoke with him, I know he didn't have the money to pay me back. So I asked him, because of the way the airline is, their policy, they gave the credit because the ticket was in his name. Okay. So they gave him credit and they gave me credit. So I asked him if he would transfer me the credits to my account.
Because you
I was the one that paid for it.
Right.
And he flat out told me no.
Pause. Is that true, Mr. Aaron?
It is.
This is where the money issue hits center stage. She cancels the trip, totally understandable, and asks for the airline credits back since she paid for everything. And what does he say? Flat out no. That's wild. This woman spent almost $3,000 on a romantic vacation for both of them, and after he cheats, he still wants to keep the benefits? That's bold. Real bold. She even tried to be reasonable, knowing he didn't have cash to pay her back. All she wanted was the credits transferred. But nope, he decided those were his now. That's when it stopped being about love and started being about entitlement. Is he standing on principle, or standing on free perks?
And so,
never been out of Chicago.
Without consulting me.
Wait, hold on, Ms. Rose. You say he never been out of Chicago? Did you already have a passport, Mr. Aaron?
I did not.
So you got a passport, sir, specifically to go on this international trip to Prague?
For other reasons.
That's fine, but I'm just clarifying. Okay, so you were very excited about this trip.
100%. I've been wanting to go on this trip for a very long time.
Okay, now tell me about the money you had saved up to go on the trip.
I
can't hear you, Mr. Aaron.
I'm a high school football coach, Your Honor. I don't do it for the money. I do it because I enjoy having an impact on other kids' lives.
I do appreciate that.
I do resent the fact that she looks at me like I...
The judge pulls out the airline policy, and this part is huge. In black and white it says, yes, the traveler gets the miles. But they can absolutely transfer them back to the person who paid. So legally, morally, and logically, he could give them back. He just doesn't want to. And his reason? I really want to go to Prague. That's it. No deeper argument. No fairness. Just, I want it. Meanwhile, this woman paid every dime. The judge is basically looking at him like, "Sir, be serious right now. Wanting something and being entitled to something are two very different things. Is this
I
a
do
dream
see the
trip
verbiage here.
or stolen benefits?"
So in what part of that did you hear gift, sir?
Just the fact that she knew that it was a destination I wanted to go to, and she didn't really have much interest in going to Prague, except for the fact that she was dating me and she understood that I wanted to
I
go
say
there.
that he's out of his mind because the reason why we even talked about travel was because I do a lot of traveling, and I had just told him about my trip that I had come back from. We were in Haiti, Jamaica, and Bahamas, and we was like, wow. And he's like, then I said, is there anywhere that you haven't been? He said, I haven't gone anywhere. I haven't gone out of Chicago.
That is not true.
He has not
I have
been out of
family in Saint-
Chicago.
I have family in St. Louis that I have visited.
You said
I have
St.
a
Louis.
car,
I'm so
man.
sorry.
I can leave the city.
Oh my God.
Wait a minute. Order the court.
Now he's trying to spin it as, it was a gift. That's his whole defense. But the text messages tell a completely different story. The trip was planned as a romantic getaway for two people in a relationship. Not a birthday present, not a solo reward, a couple's vacation. And she shuts that argument down quick. She explains how the whole idea came from her love of travel and wanting to share experiences with him. This man hadn't even been out of Chicago. The courtroom actually laughs when he confuses St. Louis with St. Lucia. That moment said a lot. He's trying to sound worldly, but the facts are not on his side. Is this a
Hear you, Ms.
gift,
Roach.
or a
But,
couple's
woman
plan
to
he
woman,
messed up?
We are accountable and responsible for the choices that we make, right? So you told this court, admittedly, that you have full knowledge and understanding of this younger man's financially compromised position when you started up with him, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I do think when we, as adults, go into romantic partnerships, we need to be realistic and we need to be really honest, ma'am, about what that's going to look like. You live a certain lifestyle that early on in
The judge shifts gears and gets real for a moment. She tells Miss Roach some hard truth about dating outside your financial bracket. Basically, when you choose to be with someone who can't match your lifestyle, situations like this can happen. That's grown folks talk right there. But at the same time, none of that excuses cheating or keeping money that isn't yours. The judge makes it clear, relationships come with risks, but respect and fairness still matter. You can feel the courtroom energy getting serious now. This isn't just about tickets anymore. It's about choices, boundaries, and consequences. Is this a lesson in love
absent any
or a
more
lesson
final
in
remarks
life?
from either of you two, the court is ready to rule. Here's where I stand on this. Mr. Aaron, I actually tend to disbelieve a narrative that you were using her, but I do think you were mighty comfortable. As for the points, your argument that they were a gift to you is not convincing, sir. I think this woman in the text messages to the court made it very clear that her intention, and that's what I'm making my ruling on, her intention was for a joint romantic experience for the two of you to share. Once you violated her trust, sir, with the cheating, which I commend you for admitting, you breached that expectation. The court is ordering you to refund the entirety of this woman's cost, $1,380. The court rules entirely for the plaintiff. That's my ruling.
Judge Evans.
And there it is, verdict time. The judge wasn't buying his, it was a gift argument at all. She makes it crystal clear, the trip was meant to be shared, and once he broke the trust, he lost any right to those credits. Boom, ordered to pay back the full $1,380. Justice served. This case really exposed how quickly generosity can turn into entitlement when the wrong person is involved. She learned a tough lesson, and he learned an expensive one. Accountability showed up right on time. If this case had you shaking your head like it had me, drop a comment below and subscribe for more wild courtroom drama every single day.